Sleep Deprived Games. Four, three.
And welcome back to Sleep Deprived Gamers Podcast. I'm your host, John, also known as John B. the Tank.
And good evening, guys. My name is Matt, also known as Thackum.
And I'm James, also known as Demonix. Alright, and on tonight's agenda, we're going to start off with the Call of Duty development. Usually, they actually take about 2 years for the development for each company, but now they are taking 3 years. And it's going to be between Sledgehammer, Treyarch, and Infinity Ward. And just one more thing I want to add on to that. Sledgehammer is actually going to develop the next Call of Duty game, which the CEO has described as the best Call of Duty game created.
See, I think this whole 3-year cycle thing is probably going to be the best decision they've made so far, based on the fact that I feel the Call of Duty games are really rushed with the 2-year cycle. Adding an extra year onto that, and the company Sledgehammer, which isn't really new, they've been working with Infinity Ward for the last 2 titles, can really make this series come back.
Absolutely. You know, we've said it time and time again. We've seen it time and time again, where these games that are supposed to, not that they're not only good, but they gather crowds of thousands, if not more people. And time after time again, we've seen them be rushed and not completely finished. And we see updates come out, a week later, that fixes all these holes. And I'm really glad to see this happening. I think we're going to see more quality games come out of it, and I'm really excited to see what happens.
I agree. And one other thing I want to add on from that is that instead of releasing on all consoles at the same time, it is going to be on the Xbox One and the PS4 first. Has not been confirmed if it's going to be on the 360 and PS3, but I'm sure we can expect that anyway.
I did hear about that. One thing I do like about that is, though I do feel bad for those who maybe aren't on the next-gen bandwagon yet, but the fact that they're focusing on next-gen, especially since we saw that the last couple games that came out, the ones that really showed the power of the next-gen were the ones that were exclusive, because the developers didn't have to worry about making something for the previous console. Even though they are going to make it for the previous console, like with Titanfall, they're making the Titanfall game with one company only for next-gen, and another company only for last-gen. So if they focus on next-gen, there will be a huge bump in quality for next-gen.
Well, you're going to get a lot of people that disagree with this, but I think that, these gaming companies, their efforts, their money, should be focused on the future, and they should be focusing solely on, the now current gen, and that's where their money should be going. Now, I'm not saying that these games shouldn't be brought to a previous console. Absolutely not. What I'm saying is it should be laid out that they are coming to the most recent consoles first. And that's the way it's always been. What we've seen happen with the PS3 and the Xbox 360 is something that's unique to this generation. It hasn't always been, let's release these consoles and let's continue to provide mass support and development on these older ones.
Right.
Some people would recall back when the PS2 and the PS3 came out. The PS2 was a very popular system still, and there was games that came out, but we saw these top-tier companies shift their eyes towards the 360 and the PS3.
Right. I really can't see what happens. I can't wait to see what happens. I mean, this can be a very good thing for the fact that they have more time, like I said, or this can be a very bad thing because, yes, they've been milking the hell out of Call of Duty, and if Sledgehammer isn't good, or if that extra year really doesn't help in any way, what else they're going to do?
I mean, there's already a lot of people that are saying that Call of Duty is a very repetitive game. They'll tell you that the Call of Duty franchise is the same story told over with different characters, and we've heard it all. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of when Ghost came out. We were a little bit excited about it, right? You remember that? Right. We had that whole conversation. But ultimately, it is going to take a little bit of extra work. The Call of Duty franchise as a whole needs to do something to overhaul themselves. They can't just stick with the name now. They need to do something different to keep the crowds on because they have so many competitors. More so right now, Battlefield is going to be their top competitor in that field.
Right. What do you think about this?
Well, honestly, I don't know if Battlefield is going to be the main competitor. I mean, it's quite different gameplay. Yes, they're both FPSs. Yes, they are both quite popular. But there's a different crowd that they both appeal to. Call of Duty is sort of a run and gun type FPS, whereas Battlefield I find is more tactical.
Oh, absolutely. But what I'm going to say is when you look at the general consensus of, teenagers, early 20s people who are playing games, maybe not, anything more than just casually, and they've already played these games already, and they've waited for the midnight releases because they're really diehard fans. They're going to look for their options elsewhere. And if Battlefield's going to provide, a 64-player multiplayer, or if Battlefield's going to provide, a different storyline every time, which they've done a very good job at doing,
and a different dynamic to the multiplayer every time because of the destructible environments.
Exactly. I think that it really does make it a contender. Maybe not for somebody who's a diehard Call of Duty fan, because that's like saying Mac and PC right there. But what I will say is that it is something that is a major contender against what's going on with Call of Duty, and they need to make changes in order to keep that fan base that they have. Activision's really clinging on to it, and I think that they need to make some kind of changes.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm sure that we can expect to see changes because the CEO has actually described it as the best Call of Duty game ever created.
Well, he wouldn't say anything less.
No, I agree, but he could have he had the option to either say that or basically not say anything about the game. He could have just left it if he didn't think it was. The fact that he actually came out, took the time, and said, yes, this is the best Call of Duty game ever created.
Well, Activision did also come out recently and say Destiny is going to be the best-selling game of all time. So.
Well, I think what that says to me is that they have high expectations, which, sort of raises my expectations as well. If the company's extremely proud of the product and they make a public statement about how proud they are about it, then that makes me feel good about how good the game is going to
make.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm not saying anything less than that. I'm not saying it's going to be bad, but what I'm saying is, I'm not a big fan of Fiat. But the CEO is going to come out and say the next generation Fiat's the best they've ever made. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree. I understand where you're coming from.
So that's the thing. Something has to change. And that's the world we're in. Something has to change to make it a what everybody's looking for.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we got to wait until the end of the year to find out how that goes. So.
Yeah. All right, well, the next thing I want to talk about, for those of you with Arkham Origins that are experiencing game-breaking bugs, Warner Brothers Games Montreal does not have any plans for a bug fix right now. They say that all of their focus is on the DLC. So yes, even though some things may break your game, they want to sell you more things for the game that is broken. They said that basically if they were to do a bug patch, they would only do the game-breaking things to fix, and they're not going to do anything with the small bugs and glitches that you'll see. So those will just be a permanent addition and a feature of the game.
And something like that is really disturbing to me. Because, how would that same response, how would that have been when GTA 5 came out?
Bad. Very bad.
But essentially it's the same thing they're doing. It's like they're saying, listen, we sold this product. We know what's going on.
It's basically saying they have more concerning matters and they don't want to deal with it.
But they're selling you, they're selling you things for your broken toy. That's what it is.
It's not even that they're concerned with other things. Their concern right now seems to be money. They just want to make more money.
And that's never the way to go about it. And,
That's how you lose fans.
Right.
Honestly, I'm very disappointed in the way that that's going. I think that, most major game companies, they're going to have a number of teams that are working on a single game. Whether that means for DLC, content updates, or other things planned down the future, it should be simple enough to get a team of people together to fix what's wrong with the game initially. Because, personally, if my game's not working, I'm not putting any more money into it. That's
right.
It's like kicking a dead dog.
Right.
Absolutely.
As you say, it's like paying for more parts for a broken toy. You're not going to play with it anymore. Why would you want to buy more stuff for it?
Yep.
Okay, next thing I want to move on to is the update for the Xbox One. For those of you who hadn't heard, there is an update coming to the Xbox One that will give you a battery indicator in the bottom right of your home screen. It will also include more voice controls as well as an improved data management, so you should be able to access your hard drive now and access your data. The first update will need to be manual, as in you will have to watch it download. It cannot be done in the background, but the first update will pave the way for the each subsequent download to be automatic.
Now, question. I never had the rechargeable battery packs for my 360, but is that ever a feature that Xbox has ever had?
Oh yeah, even without them, you hit the guide button and it would show you your battery
It
life.
would. Okay, I never noticed that.
That's something that should have been on the one from the start, and really upset me that it wasn't there. As well as the fact that you couldn't look in your storage, and that's something else they're putting in there. And I mean, the fact that they're fixing all these things really late really just upsets me, because they tried to fix something that wasn't broken.
Well, John, you got to take a second here and remember, they had a system that was already in place. They were already putting finalized touches on the Xbox software. And what happened? They had to change it. Mm-hmm. This is a conversation for another day, but, everybody went all up in arms when it came to Always Online.
Oh, I know.
Because of that, at the last minute, they had to change a lot of things. Some things didn't get to be finished, and I'm understanding of that. But now they're writing software that wasn't fully completed in the first place. And for that, as a software programmer,
it's not running the way it's supposed to.
I sympathize. Yeah. I do sympathize. And being how long the Xbox has been out, honestly, I'm very surprised that it hasn't taken longer to get an update such as this. So I'm happy with it. I'm looking forward to it. And most of all, I'm looking forward to background updates.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Considering before we came here, I was updating Forza 5, and that took a while.
Yeah, and you can't do anything while it's doing it either.
No. Well, actually, no. You can on Xbox One. It kind of does it as a background thing. You can go play something else while it's updating.
Oh,
You
really?
can't start playing the game, though. Depending on the update. Sometimes you can start playing the game if the update's only for multiplayer. You can play the single player until the
Right.
multiplayer's done updating, but that's it.
I definitely feel like Microsoft left the ability to see the games that you've installed on there as a little bit of a tease and a little bit of a poke at what would have been. I think it's kind of sucky that I could be installing Battlefield when last night I installed Forza, and I can only look at Forza. I cannot play it. Even though I took the hour or so to install it to my hard drive, I need the disc in there in order to run it, which, I don't know. I think that there should be a elect-in for Always Online.
That's why
and I
what
would
I
definitely
did?
be able to do
When
it.
I got my Xbox One and all my games, I just installed everything back-to-back for like a day.
But still, I mean, it's not the point.
No, I know.
You should be able to play it even without the disc in. You've proved that you've had that disc, and
That's what we would have done with keeping it always online.
I understand.
I think the only issue there is, though, that once you enable people to play the game without the disc, you're enabling them to basically buy the game and then return it.
Well, that's why what I was saying was the original plan for the Xbox One was DRM.
Right.
Which everyone thought was a really bad thing. But if you look at things like Steam, on Steam, there's DRM, but you can play the game without putting the disc back in. And one of the things people were really upset about was the fact that they have to always be online. But these days, almost everyone's always online.
Everything is already online.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty dumb. I mean, I would have really liked to have kept that feature, mainly for the fact that when I'm playing video games, I become this lazy asshole who doesn't want to get up like a million times to put a different disc in. So.
Well, I mean, I have to say the same. As a PC gamer, I basically patched all of the games that I have to run without the disc, but I'm not taking them back to the shop and saying, "Hey, I want to, trade this in or return it."
But that's because you're a trustworthy person.
Right. That's what I'm
Some
saying.
Some gamers can be assholes.
Yeah, I think that if they were to do that, a lot of people would take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not saying that having to have the disc is a good idea. I just think they need to find an alternative.
I mean, PC gamers have been doing it for years, and I don't see why a common thing couldn't be brought over to, console-based systems, is where you would have to enter a product registration code in order to get it to run the first time. That would authenticate you as yourself, and the product code is all yours, I don't think that you'd need to type in a 26-digit code. With the Xbox One, the new version of the Xbox hardware, you can use QR codes now.
Yep.
Something like that could be implemented to...
Just say, Xbox, use a code. And then, bam, you're using a code.
So, I mean, I definitely think something like that could be doable. So, I'm not sure why further things haven't been put in place. But,
Right.
it's nice to look forward to the future and see exactly what we can get.
I agree. Okay, so for those of you who, like myself, loved the first Dark Souls, Dark Souls 2, for those of you in Japan, the collector's edition will come with basically miniature versions of the weapons that you can get in-game, which I think is a really cool thing. For those of you in North America, we do not have that option, but the collector's edition will be releasing March 11th for basically the consoles, and then the PC version shortly thereafter. For $200, it's going to come with an art book, cloth map of the world, and a 12-inch figurine.
Huh.
Yeah, basically. Not much else to say about that.
Yeah, there's not much else you can say about that. Special edition, woohoo! And extra stuff.
Yep. And next thing I want to talk about is Rust. Everyone knows that Rust is one of my favorite games. Well, one of my favorite alpha games, I should say. It's recently hit 1 million sales, so it's pretty cool for Face Punch. They had an update recently as well, where they removed the zombies from the update, because basically they said they didn't want to have stupid creatures in their game.
I think one of the biggest reasons they probably remove zombies is a lot of people say Rust is the Minecraft DayZ survival game.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think they want to be compared to DayZ. They want to be their own thing.
Which I can understand.
Because these days, being compared to Minecraft isn't such a bad idea. Because being compared to Minecraft can mean a million different things. I mean, you're a very successful kickstarting game that's not fully out yet. Being compared to DayZ means you're a survival zombie game. So when people say something like that, the guy who probably made the game is like, besides the whistling, I don't want to be compared to DayZ. I'm my own game. Why am I going to have zombies in there? I can have something else in there that's just as entertaining. Let's take them out and figure out something else. And like you said, they're going to be dropping the, the bear and the wolves in there?
Yes, red bears and wolves.
Red bears and wolves. So they're going to drop those in there, figure out something else, probably some kind of unique monster that's nothing we've heard of before, not zombies or anything. Like how Fallout has, what do you call those big screechy-looking things with the giant fingers?
The Death Claws?
Death Claws. They're going to be they're going to come up with their own monster for the series.
Right.
So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, and just another thing to add on to that, in the new update, they did add a few features. A couple of them being the workbenches will basically allow you to craft faster as long as you're standing next to them. There's also a variety of new animations for melee and for the players. And the footsteps that you hear will basically... The footstep sound will not be the same as the one preceding it, ever. So it should help to have more variety in the sounds.
Okay.
I just think it's nice to have those little things thought of,
Well, it's like, do you remember when you used to play Minecraft and when you were getting hurt, it would go, oh, 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 when you're on fire? It was so annoying. And now it just goes, and then you die. But you don't remember that stupid, annoying noise that would make the loudest, annoying noise possible when you're playing that game. Right.
Do you know, I actually don't think I played Minecraft when it made that sound.
Really? Yeah, it used to be on fire and you'd go, ugh.
I remember me and John used to play Minecraft Alpha.
Yeah, Alpha?
Yep.
Yeah.
It still had the build number at the top.
Yep. I remember when you showed me Minecraft a long time ago, and I was like, look at this game, its graphics are horrible. And then I came back to it like 2 years later, and I was like, oh my god, this game's amazing.
And the graphics haven't changed.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, so the Oculus Rift, the first launch game that they're going to have is Eve Valkyrie. If you remember, they actually did that as a demo for the Oculus Rift. It's going to be the space dogfighting game. So I think it's definitely something to look forward to.
And Oculus is going to be running with this?
Yes.
That's really cool.
You're basically a pilot, and
Now-
you're seeing it from
And
the
you can look
pilot's-
around.
Right.
Now,
That's cool.
it's also been rumored, and I have no confirmation of this yet, that Rockstar's also been working with Oculus Rift as well.
Really?
Yes.
For what? GTA?
Yeah.
There's no first person in GTA.
Not yet.
I guess there's going to be.
That
gonna be strange.
would be really weird when your friends are walking around doing the jerk-off animation in multiplayer.
But it is something to keep our eye on, something that we should follow.
Absolutely. I think it would be interesting to see how you would drive at that point, because you'd have to actually look where you're going.
That would be cool.
It would be cool, but kind of scary, I think.
Yeah, a little bit, especially when you like hit something or something hits you and you just go tumbling off a mountain and then you have no idea what's going on, literally. So that'd be fucking awesome.
Oculus Rift is also investing in a lot of peripherals for themselves. Maybe not for home use, but if you want to use their devices at specialized centers or arcades, to where when you walk, you'll actually be able to walk normally and also walk in the game.
That's cool. Now, hear me out on this. This is a console game, sorry, that I've always thought should have Oculus support. You're probably going to say, of course you'd want this game to have Oculus support. There's a reason behind the madness. Halo. Hear me out. Your character has a HUD and a helmet on at all times.
Yeah, when you said Halo, I was like, oh, okay, I was expecting a bad idea.
No, yeah, it's because you have the HUD all the time. So you have that HUD all the time. You being integrated with that character, being able to look around, still having your HUD.
I think that'd be awesome. I feel like Master Chief. I wouldn't be Master Chief, but that's probably as close as I was getting.
That'd be as close as you get to wearing the helmet and being him. That'd be awesome. And then that paired with maybe not the Kinect, but the other technology we've seen where you can stand in the middle of that cylinder-looking thing and walk around and be able to play the FPS that way. That's pretty cool.
Slenderman.
Oh, goodness.
I would shit my pants. There'd be something slender coming out behind me.
Anyway. So, Flappy Bird.
Flappy Bird.
Flappy Bird.
Now, Flappy Bird in itself is an interesting story. John, do you know about Flappy Bird?
I do. It was a overnight success, basically, on the Play Store and the Apple App Store. And the guy basically created a game that was very simple, looked very much like something out of Mario, and has taken it down.
Yeah, so he's actually taken it down. He actually makes a couple of games. He operates under himself. He's a one-man studio called Gears. And just a couple days ago, on Saturday, he released a tweet that says, 22 hours from now, I will take Flappy Bird down. I cannot take this anymore. As of today, the game's actually off of iTunes, and there's a lot of speculation actually going around now that bots were being used to artificially boost the game's download ranking in iTunes. Now, the thing with that is Apple does take that very seriously. So I'm interested to see what the exact reason for. I don't think
that's the case, though, because I've been seeing a lot of people playing Flappy Bird recently.
Oh, so have I. Yeah.
No matter what they say about that, it was still a very popular game.
Now, here's the thing, though. It jumped literally in about 24 hours from almost no downloads to number one in the App Store. Now, when something's number one in the App Store, absolutely you can get hundreds of thousands of downloads over the next week or so. Absolutely, it's not uncommon. But a lot of people are raising the question of right now:
how did he get to number one?
How did he get to number one so fast? And then a lot of people were, badgering him about it.
Right.
He said, if I did fake it, should Apple let it live for months? A lot of people are saying it's the first time in the App Store that they've ever seen it, and it could turn out that it's just a wildly viral game. But a lot of times, anytime this has been seen, it has been due to bots, and Apple's done something about it. He tweeted off right after he took it down that I think press should give me and my game some peace. So I think that's definitely why he took it down. And granted, he was making a lot of money, but I don't know. Is your sanity worth it?
Right.
I don't know. I think my sanity would be perfectly worth $50,000 a day.
Now, here's what's really odd about it. This game is like a cult now. And I'm not just saying it's annoying. I mean, people
are selling phones with Flappy Bird on it on fucking eBay.
Yes. There's one phone right now going for $5,000. And an iPod Touch 5 with the game on it is being offered at $6,000.
I could sell my phone. I did just download it like the day he announced he was going to take it off the next day.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's not saying it's due to any.
Flappy Bird.
He says it's not due to any legal issues. So he says that it's ruining his life. So I'm willing to believe him.
I don't know. I mean, maybe that's the reason, but there are way too many similarities in the game for it to not be compared to Mario. And I think that Yes,
Green
he
Pipes does not.
No, it's not the green pipes. It's the fact that the bird looks like the birds from Mario. That the pipes look like they're from Mario. The background looks like it's from Mario. It's not exactly from Mario, but it's very Mario-esque. So, I mean, for me, yes, it may have also been ruining his life, but I think that may have also been a factor for him deciding to, basically stop it where it is.
I 100% agree with that. Mainly because I'm currently playing it on my phone right now, and it looks like it's straight out of Mario. Like, it's insane how much this thing looks like it's out of Mario.
But you know what? There's a
I
lot
mean, look
of.
at that thing. The bird looks like something straight out of Mario. And then look at the pipes.
They're emulators. I mean, that's the thing. Just because something has green pipes and just because something's 2D doesn't necessarily mean it's a copy. There's no copyright to that.
No, I'm not saying it's a copyright. I'm just saying that the art style is fairly similar. You can, if someone looks at that offhand and they just glance at it, they'll think it's Mario.
And to be similar is not against the law.
No, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that he might not have wanted the game to be compared to it. Nothing about.
I could definitely see that, but it's really interesting to see.
Do what else I can see? This game's very fucking hard.
Yeah, it is.
God damn it.
It's really fucking hard.
Okay, so what's the next bit?
The next bit is the Clash of Clans thing that I want to talk about. For those of you who don't know what Clash of Clans is, it's basically a free-to-play game on Android and iOS, where it's basically a tower defense game. As I said, it's free-to-play, free to download, but you can make in-app purchases to get weapons and that.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Clash of Clans is making $654,000 per day.
Say that again.
$654,000 per day.
$654,000
per day.
Holy shit. So, Matt, we should come up with an awesome new game for the App Store.
Now, one thing that is interesting about that, it's actually ranked third for the amount of money that these things make.
Is it because it has microtransactions or anything?
It's behind Puzzle and Dragons and Candy Crush.
Okay, I can see that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if it's making that much money, how much freaking money is Candy Crush making?
Oh, they're making tons. We're gonna have to get back with the actual number, but they make hundreds of thousands every day, just on in-app purchases alone.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing. It's an amazing figure.
Wow.
Okay, so basically the last thing I want to talk about is Ubisoft. And the reason I want to talk about Ubisoft is because they recently had a 35% drop in sales. Now, Ubisoft is saying that it was because of the console transition period. But
they can point fingers all they want.
I'm not so sure.
But, a console transition period is never a time to, for any company to say, hey, this is why we lost money. If anything, that should be a time where we're saying, here's why we made the profits that we did. Because everybody's buying their games again. You have to buy all your favorite games again. It's I don't want to buy my Xbox One and not be able to play Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's laziness to say that.
Yeah, I cannot believe that that's the best reason that they could come up with. I mean, quite frankly, you're right. The current gen consoles and next gen consoles, that should have increased their sales, because you've got people that have already got the consoles playing the games that have bought them, and now you've got new people that are playing, that are going to be playing them, and the old people that are buying them for the new consoles that they've got. So it should definitely increase their sales. But apparently they expect to actually get $1.36 billion in the 2013-2014 fiscal year. So we're going to have to see how that turns out.
Because they're releasing Watch Dogs and Crew, the two most anticipated games that they postponed. So, Watch Dogs, here's how that basically went. Watch Dogs and The Crew were supposed to come out. Watch Dogs was supposed to come out with Xbox One. The Crew was supposed to come out a month after. Then, a month before those came out, they were postponed. So, like 3 or 4 months later. A month ago, they postponed them again till about September, August. So, that's why they're not making money. Not because of switching to next gen, where people are going to buy the game twice.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I think that's basically everything that we needed to talk about.
Well, actually, guys, I do have one more thing.
One more thing.
We shouldn't make this a theme.
So, guys, I know I've been talking to you off over the last 3 weeks about, saving the open internet and the campaign going on right now with Demand Progress.
Right.
Tomorrow is a significant day. And in fact, the organizations that are supporting tomorrow, they're calling it the Day We Fight Back. And what this is all these companies that are behind it, and us as a podcast, Sleep Deprived Gamers, and generally everybody that wants an open internet needs to call their senators tomorrow or send an email. Tell the government exactly what we want it to do. We've actually made it very simple because starting at midnight tonight, we're recording this at 9:20 Monday evening. Starting at midnight tonight, for 24 hours, you can go to the Sleep Deprived Gamers website. There will be a banner up that will allow you, one, to directly call your state senator or your representative and to send an email right from there. It makes it very easy. Or, guys, you can visit thedaywefightback.com. Or, once again, you could go to sleepdeprivedgamers.com/demandprogress.
And please, guys, participate. Every voice makes a
Yes,
difference.
exactly. Please participate.
Every voice makes a difference.
Absolutely. And I know that we've already all signed the petition.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So definitely. Guys, you have anything else to add?
I think that's about it.
What? No, nothing else. Nothing else.
All right, well, thanks for listening, guys. I'm John.
I'm James.
And I'm Matt. And like always, stay sleepy. Game on.
Sleep Deprived Game.